Bonjour, good morning, welcome all of you. So, this morning we are in the concluding portion of the Savitri summarization. Here we are marching forward towards a greater dawn. As we started from the symbol dawn, it was the hour before the gods awake. Like this, here we are proceeding towards the a greater dawn. This is we are in the part of the last chapter, last canto. That is actually epilogue. It is book 12, epilogue, the return to earth. The topic is to be discussed right now is on towards the greater dawn, and the line is like this: and in her bosom nursed a greater dawn. So this topic we are going to take. It is a brief summarization session, and in the concluding portion, concluding chapter, we are to take it on epilogue book 12, the return to earth. So interestingly, Sri Aurobindo quotes, of course it is a short one, around 9 pages only. Out of abysmal trance her spirit yoke. It is about the spirit, nothing relates to other beings like mind, vital and physical. Out of the abysmal trance her spirit a yoke. Lain on the earth mother's calm, inconscient breast, she saw the green-clad branches lean above, guarding her sleep with their enchanted life, and overhead a blue-winged ecstasy. So this is the great dawn. Everything has been turned. Destiny, which was prefigured and predefined, it is changed. Everything is transformed. Everything is on the way to perfection because victory of love over death is already accomplished. Again we can go. She pressed the living body of Satyavan. Already we know Satyavan was in the grip of death. We know a lot of death. So she pressed the living body of son Satyavan. It means she is no more dead. It is she has gained his living format. On her body's wordless joy to be and breathe, she bore the blissful burden of his head. She bore the blissful burden of his head between her breasts, warm labor of delight. Then we can go a little bit forward. The remoteness of her trance had passed. The immense remoteness of her trance had passed. Human, she was once more Earth's Savitri. Change from this thing earthly format. Initially, it was divinity, divine mother, and here on the track we found the human form. Again from there arose, she arose, and right now rising in spirit, confronting death, victory over death, and now we find of course Earth Savitri. Human, she was once more Earth Savitri. It felt, but up down, it has brought a huge change. Yet felt in her illimitable change, a power dwelt in her soul too great for earth. Everything has been transformed, changed. A power dwelt in her soul too great for earth. A bliss lived in her heart too large for heaven. The light too intense for thought and love, too boundless for earth. Emotions lit her skies of mind and spread through her deep and happy seas of soul. Then to her divine passivity of mood, all that is sacred in the world drew near. A marvelous voice of silence breathed its thoughts, all things in time and space she had taken for hers. And now, in her spaceless self released from bounds, unnumbered years seemed moments long drawn out. Unnumbered years seemed moments long drawn out, the brilliant time flakes of eternity. Then we can go a little bit further. Her spirit, the unending future felt. Her spirit, the unending future felt and lived with all the unbeginning past. Her life was a dance of victorious opening. The past and unborn days had joined their dreams. Just imagine how it is. His mind back to her with her traveling touch. His mind back to her with her traveling touch on the on his closed eyelids. We can find the great change here. So we can find you can hear, behold, of course, the voice of Satyavan. Whence thou hast thou brought me captive back, long chained, brought me captive back, captive prisoner, love chained to thee and sunlight's walls, O golden beam. Again, the description of golden already we have seen. Most of the places in Savitri, while reading description and proceeding, marching forwards, we find the description of golden. O golden beam and cascade of all sweetness, Savitri, Godhead and woman, moonlight of my soul. Godhead and woman, moonlight of my soul. For surely I have travelled in strange worlds by the companion, a pursuing spirit. Together we have disdained the gates of night. Together he is expecting, he is actually feeling that the realization is coming only. He is just not 100% sure what has happened, but things he guesses. Together we have disdained the gates of night. I have turned away from the celestial's joy and the heavens insufficient without thee. These great feelings initially he had at the past darshan, and here of course, and heavens insufficient without thee. Where now past has passed that formidable shape which rose against us, the spirit of the void. Guesses he finds, just vaguely remembers, claiming the world for death and nothingness, denying God. Just imagine how it is. Then denying God and the soul, or all was a dream, or a vision seen in spiritual sleep. Just comprehension, actually confusing what really happened. Anyway, towards end, the soul in a gully mid the crowded streets of chance. In a gully mid the crowded streets of chance, the soul that into the world adventure came. The soul into the world adventure came, a scout and voyager from eternity. Then we'll listen to the mother's voice really, and we'll know how really she is explaining the real situation. She replied, our parting was the dream. We are together, we live, O Satyavan. Look around thee and behold, glad and unchanged. Everything is unchanged as usual, but thing is really changed. Our home, this forest with its thousand cries, and the whisper of the wind among the leaves, and through rifts in emerald seen, the evening sky, God's canopy of blue sheltering our lives. Anyway, towards only our souls have left depths and death's night behind, expressing the truth. Our friends are earth on earth where we are king and queen. Now itself profoundly discusses and declares king and queen at that point of time. Our friends on earth where we are king and queen, only our souls have left death's night behind. Changed by a mighty dream's reality, illumined by the light of symbol worlds, the worlds we have traveled so far. Savitri is well aware, and he is vaguely, Satyavan is vaguely recollecting. And the stupendous summit self of things understood at Godhead's gates, limitless free. So this is the great expression. Let us have a summarization up to this point. Then we'll go for the latter readings from the golden lines as lined by the master of all of us. Then this is the epilogue, the return to earth. We can find book 12. So Savitri's spirit awoke from the deep trance. She finds herself on the calm breast of the earth mother, calm breast of the world mother, earth mother, with green branches above guarding her sleep. Green branches above guarding her sleep. Evening is near. It is almost evening is approaching. Then she holds the living body of Satyavan close to herself, bearing his head on her bosom. Because with her touch, she has to finally come round into the living, of course, living awareness. The remotenesses of trance had the past, and Savitri is once more human, because Divine Mother, playing the divine role in this divine arena, completing the divine game, having the divine victory, she is once again and more upon human. I may call it divine human. And yet she feels an illimitable change, a new power, a new bliss, a new light are in her. New power, a new bliss, and a new light are in her. She leans over Satyavan and touches his closed eyelids, whereupon he awakes to find her eyes gazing into his. So there is once again that Jivanyas. He is actually trying to remind of her the quest and try to bring her into the human sense, and of course human mentality person here. Vaguely, he recollects some wonderful experience, and with his arms encircling her, asks her from where she has brought him back. Really, everything seems vague for him, because he's not sure of what happened, but vaguely remembers or recollects the situation. Captive of her love to this sunny earth, he continues. In his one verse already we have quoted. Surely I have travelled in strange worlds along with thee, pursued by a spirit. We have together scorned the gates of night. That's what we have seen, he vaguely remembers. Where hast this formidable safe, claiming the world for death, gone? Where is that safe? It is no more seen. Was it all a dream, or was it some spiritual vision? That's what he wants to know from Savitri, and calmly, politely he is asking in the loving, tender words. Savitri answers, "Our parting was a dream." Very much standardized clarification. That we are together and we are alive. In fact, our souls have left death's night behind. We have stood at the Godhead's gates. Then what happens? Satyavan looks at her silently and is filled with wonder, because there is already sin in Savitri standing, but actually 100% changed, new form, new format, and transformed Savitri. With a new flame of worship in his eyes, he asks her, with what high change has come in her? Even before thou were a goddess, but still thy sweet human parts made thee dearer. Now thou seemst too high and great for mortal worship. So it is nothing with the husband, wife, and this human natak drama, dalila or something. Feels this is a great adoration from the inner heart. Savitri replies, "All now is changed, yet all is the same. We have looked upon the face of God. We have borne identity with the Supreme. Looked upon the face of God, born identity with the Supreme. Our love has grown greater by that touch, but nothing is lost of mortal love's delight." Same thing, same wording, but everything, a lot of change, a great transformation is achieved. I am Savitri, all that I was to thee before I am to thee still. Now grief is dead, serene bliss alone remains. Let us give joy to all, because in this wonderful world we are born to lead man's soul towards truth and the God. Let us have a quotation, a few lines, recitation from Savitri, then we'll go. So, Savitri, already we have seen that Satyavan's tender words, worshipping words, worship in his eyes. What high change is in thee, O Savitri, bright ever thou wast, a goddess still and pure. Yet dearer to me by thy sweet common parts, earth gave thee, making thee yet more divine. My adoration mastered, my desire bent down to make its subject my daring clasp. So, Sri Aurobindo quotes it in another time. Yet at the earthly keeper of my soul, yet at the earthly keeper of my soul, my life is a whisper of thy dreaming thoughts, my mourns a gleaming of the spirit's wings, yet the day and the night are thy beauty part. Anyway, so we can go a little a bit ahead. It is answer from Savitri, soft answer from Savitri in a murmuring lute. All now is changed, yet all is still the same. Lo, we have looked upon the face of God. Our life has opened with divinity. We have born identity with the Supreme and known His meaning in our mortal lives. Our human heartbeats passionately close. Still I am she who came to the made murmur of sunlit lives upon the forest birds. I am the Madran, I am Savitri. All that I was before, I am to thee still. Nothing has been changed for thee. So far you are concerned. With respect to this is relativity. So with respect to nothing has been changed. With respect to the world, a lot have been changed. Close comrade of thy thoughts and hopes and toils, all happy contraries I would join for thee. All sweet relations marry in our life. I am thy kingdom, even as thou art mine, the sovereign and the slave of thy desire. Just imagine how the glorious description. The world I inhabit and the God I adore, thy body is my body's counterpart. Then I am and thou to me, O Satyavan, our wedded walk through life begins anew. There is a renewal, there is again a new beginning. No gladness lost, no depth of mortal joy. Let us go through this world that is the same. Again, let us give joy to all, for joy is ours. Great sentence, great, of course, clarification from Savitri. Again, that for not for ourselves alone our spirits came. Out of the veil of the unmanifest it came, out of the deep, immense, unknowable, upon the ignorant breast of devious earth we came. Our duty is to give joy to others. Say so about the life divine, 4-5 lines have been quoted beautifully. Two rays that travel to the original light, two rays that travel to the original light, two fires that burn towards the parent sun, to lead man's soul towards truth and God we are born. To lead man's soul towards truth and God we are born, to draw the checkered scheme of mortal life into some semblance of the immortal plan. Then, what is the reality? To shape it closer to an image of God, a little nearer to the idea divine. Many divine we have seen: love divine, idea divine, power divine, life divine. So, here another idea divine. So, it is after speaking all these things, she closed her arms about his breast and head as if it were to keep him on her bosom warm. So, we have seen. So anyway, light slipped down to the brightly sleeping birds, and the birds came back winging to her nests. So this is the evening. Already we have discussed the description of the evening, and the day and the night leaned to each other's arms. So later afterwards we can find. Now the dusk shadowy tree stood close around like dreaming spirits and the delaying night. This is the great description of the nature we find here. A great resplendent company arrived. Life in its ordered tumult wavering came, bringing its stream of unknown faces. So we can find glittering of ornaments, fluttering of hems, hundreds of hands parted the forest boughs. So father of Satyavan, Dumasen and the troop, and they are marching forward in search of the so-called new bride and the bridegrooms, Savitri and Satyavan. In front, King Dimasyan walked no more blind, faltering limbed, but his far questing eyes restored to all they are confident in light. Take singly this immense outer world we have seen. So by him firmly he trod with monarch step the soil. No more exiled, outcast and bound. Everything has been returned. He is now monarch. His steps are monarch step on the soil. Monarch trod with monarch step the soil. By him that queen and mother's anxious face came changed from its habitual burdened look. Everything has been changed. The world looks anew. So again we can go. There is a voice. So we can hear that the voice really, that great voice. We can see how the Dumosen is chiding the loving child Satyavan. The fortunate gods have looked on me today. The fortunate gods have looked on me today. A kingdom seeking came and heaven's rays. But where wast thou? Thou hast tormented gladness with fear's dull shadow, O my child, my life. Anyway, so I live content with my remaining days. That's what you know, and you are away from her. Then Satyabai replied with his smiling lips, "Lay all on her. She is the cause of all. With her enchantment she has twined me round. With her enchantments she has twined me round. Behold, at noon leaving this house of clay I wandered in far of eternities, yet still a captive in her golden hands." Just imagine how brilliantly described and how worshipping voices we can hear from Satyavan's tenderful voice, lips. So, till now we'll try to summarize, then we'll go for the end session. We can see the dusk gathers, so we can find no, serious. The dusk gathers suddenly from all sides. There is a medley of human sounds. We can hear sounds. Many voices and footsteps are heard approaching. It is coming near. A great resplendent company arrives headed by Dumasen, no longer blind, no longer weak-limbed, but walking in the royal gate, because he has accomplished all these things. He has achieved. He is now changed. Everything has been from past is gone. New look, new advancement, new style. Everything is new life. By his side is the queen. They are looking about more anxiously. The queen is fast to spy the forms of her children. A spy. That you can see Satyavan and Savitri. They hurry towards them, and the Dumas tenderly childs Satyavan, what you are doing here? Telling him how though the gods have smiled on him by giving him back his kingdom and his pure eyesight. He has no use for them. He has no use for them without his child, who is his life. Everything, seeking came, royalty came, monarchy came, everything is came, trappings, everything is restored, but actually everything, only thing they need, not all these, bearing all these things, only thing they need, their children. She tells Savitri that it was unlike her not to have led back Satyavan to his parent earlier, because they expected their presence. You have not done the right thing by not bringing him to their arms. Then Satyavan smilingly asks him to lay all the blame on Savitri, as he is her captive. Satyavan feels he is a captive, imprisoned, captive in her. He is her captive. He then hints how he was wandered through the far of eternities and is now back on this little hillock called Earth only because of her. She has twined me round. All eyes turn to Savitri, who blushes deeply and lowers her eyes. All wonder at her luminous glow. Everything was already discussed. Everything is changed. New shape, new format, new voice, new look. No, so everything is new. The earth is new. The heaven is new. One who seems to be a priest and says, asks her, "What light, what power prevailed by thee has opened a happier age for us?" That is a great comment, great seeing from this, the true sage and come priest. What light, what power revealed by thee has opened a happier age for us? Savitri looks at them with deep motherly love and replies, "To feel love and oneness is to live. This is the magic of our golden chains. To feel love and oneness is to live. This is the magic of our golden chain. This is all the truth I know or seek, O sage." That the glorious beginning and the glorious, of course, commands we can find. Let us read together. that voice, or seeing sagely voice, the sage's voice, O man's soul, what light, what power revealed, working the rapid marvels of this day, opens for us by the a happier age. So let us find the Savitri's final statements, I mean final wordings in these terms. Lo, she replied, veiled the light, lo, she replied, awaken to the meaning of my heart. Great, we can find great 6 lines, that is the last lines from Savitri's lips, we can see here. Awaken to the meaning of my heart, that to feel love and oneness is to live. And this the magic of our golden chains is all the truth I know or sees. So the this is the magic of our golden chains is all the truth I know or see or sees. Then what happens? And these 4 great lines we have already seen. Wondering at her and to her 2 luminous words, westward they turned in the fast gathering night. Westward they turned in the fast gathering night. So there is a departure, and of course, this is the night, the end of the night, new dawn has to come. That a few lines description will say, and within a couple of lines, we'll try to summarize, conclude the chapter. From the entangling verges freed, they came into a dimness of the sleeping earth and travelled through her faint and slumbering plains. Murmur and movement and the tread of men broke the night's solitude. Then we can go. Hearing a marriage march and a nuptial hymn, with linked hands Satyavan and Savitri in the flare of the unsteady touches went. Linked, with linked hands Satyavan and Savitri, hearing a marriage march and a nuptial hymn, where waited them the many-voiced human world. Many-voiced human world waited them, and they are marching, that is their nuptial marching marriage march and a nuptial hymn. So we can find lost in the halo of her musing brows, night splendid with the moon dreaming in heaven. In silver peace possessed her luminous reign. She brooded through her stillness on a thought. She brooded with her stillness on a thought, deep guarded by her mystic folds of light. Deep guarded, we can find deep guarded by her mystic folds of light, and her in bosom nursed a greater dawn. And in her bosom nursed a greater dawn. So have a couple of lines summarization here. How it is the things are being, of course, summarized here. We can find they wonder at her and her luminous words, all because you know that the great words have been spoken by Savitri. To feel love and oneness is to live. This is the magic of our golden chain. This is all the truth I know or seek or says. So hearing these great sentences, these golden lines, hearing all these things, the wonderful transmuting words, all wonder at her and her luminous words. Then all turn westwards, westwards towards home as the night gathers. With this gathering night, they turn upwards towards and marches forwards towards their home. Homeward they are marching. Soon, with the moon dreaming in heaven, and now on the top you can find the moon is gliding on the moon is on the heaven. So dreaming in heaven in silver peace. Night assumes her full reign. You can find night assumes her full reign. Moon dreaming in heaven in silver peace. She broods on a thought guarded by her mystic folds of light. She broods on a thought that is guarded by her mystic folds of light, and nurses in her bosom a greater dawn. Just imagine how it is really. We started the chapter from the legend Savitri Satyavan, that is, Mahabharata, that Bana Parva we have listened. From there we started. And the beginning was there with the symbol dawn. It was the hour before the gates, before the gods awake. Now we have traveled a lot, of course, in the concluding session and the concluding line. We are standing here upon the verge. We think great thing. We started from the all the grayness, all the inaction, all the darkness, all the everything was actually under darkness. Now we are moving forward to a greater dawn. So this is the key of our golden change. Let us complete and stay here with the final four lines from Savitri's last wordings. Awaken to the meaning of my heart that to feel love and oneness is to live. And this the magic of our golden change is all the truth I know or seek, who says. So with this we are trying to conclude the chapter and of course Savitri's summarization. Bande Mataram.